Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's your girl, the Venusian Bull. I am back again, and we are at the culmination of the Planets in the Houses series because we are now going to be discussing the ethereal, majestic, mystical, spiritual 12th house. Yes, that's what we are getting into. Okay, I do apologize for my absence. Your girl was on vacation, okay, in the Caribbean. I got a little tan, as you can see. So glad to be back, and we're going to knock out these videos, okay? So you know how we do an introduction video. First off, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you go ahead and click that like button, and we engage over here. We discuss in the comments, so make sure you go ahead and do that as well, okay? So to kind of give a brief overview of the 12th house, and it's kind of difficult to give a brief overview of the 12th house because it's just so deep and there's so many things. It's a very multifaceted house, and there's a lot of different components to the 12th house, and throughout the planets I will be discussing different facets of the 12th house. So if I happen to forget something in one video, just don't forget to watch them all, okay? I tell y'all this in all of the videos, and also be sure that understand that these are general characteristics, and everything may not apply to you specifically, because depending on what sign you have on the 12th house cusp, what aspects the specific planet is making, and things of that nature. So you have to keep that in mind. I always say that, I always stress that, okay? So the generalization of the 12th house. This is a very, like I mentioned before, this is a spiritual house. This is a mystical house. This is a house of creativity. This is a house of compassion. This is a house of artistic expression and talent, of all of the arts. We're talking performing arts, visual arts, film, editing, all of that type of stuff. Anything beauty related, hair, makeup, all of that type of thing. Obviously, this is a house that's big on spirituality. So anything having to do with astrology or tarot, this is like the quintessential, you know, head wrap lady kind of woman energy with the candles burning the sage. Okay, this is the 12th house. That's her. That's this energy, okay? And you know, the 12th house is very akin to Pisces, okay? So a lot of these traits are going to be similar if you happen to have Pisces placements or heavy Neptunian energy as well, okay? So also, to kind of get on the negative end of Pisces, of the 12th house, this house also has to deal with imprisonment, has to deal with addiction, it has to deal with delusions, and, you know, like delusions of grandeur, seeing things with rose-colored glasses, being too idealistic, putting people up on a pedestal and things like that. This also has to deal with homelessness. This has to deal with isolation. It has to deal with like mental health issues. It can literally have to deal with you drowning, like physically, because this house does represent the ocean and deep waters and things of that nature. This house also represents dreams, okay? Very prophetic dreams. So if you happen to have heavy 12th house energy, make sure you're paying attention to your dreams, because that stuff just might come true, okay? It may come to fruition. This is a very intuitive house. This house, if you have this energy, you know about things that are going to happen before they happen. This is a very sensitive energy. You feel people's energy, and you can tell if it's toxic or not, but just make sure, you know, that you're using discernment, you know, because rose-colored glasses and all of that type of stuff, okay? So, you know, just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some things, but we'll get into all of the logistics of the 12th house and the deep ocean of secrets. Oh, secretive. Forgot to mention that. This house is very secretive, and it can also be kind of like, you know, aloof and things like that, and just, you know, kind of subdued and kind of quiet and things of that nature. And we can't forget about, unfortunately, the thievery and the cheating and the stealing, and things of that nature. But it does provide some insulation, so you can be protected with this energy as well if you use it right. Okay. So we're going to get into all of the logistics of that. I'm sure that as I go through the planets, I'm going to cover everything. I promise y'all. So make sure you stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to get into the planets in the 12th house. All right. See ya. So in this video, we are going to be discussing Mercury in the 12th house, okay? So having Mercury in the 12th house is similar to having Mercury in Pisces or having Gemini or Virgo on the 12th house cusp, okay? So Mercury in the 12th house, y'all be hearing voices. I can't even mince words. I can't sugarcoat it. Y'all be hearing voices. Y'all hear the spirits. Y'all hear the evil ones, the good ones, the demons, the angels. Y'all hear everything. You hear it when you sleep. You hear it when you close your eyes. You hear it when you're wide awake. Okay. Sometimes if you're in a room, like a crowded room full of people, you don't know if you're like hearing these voices in your head or if it's like the actual people around, because it's like always entities and spirits trying to talk to you because they latch onto you because they know that you have this energy, this Mercury in the 12th house, and they're just like, okay, you can be a messenger. So I'm going to be, Mercury is the messenger, right? So I'm going to talk to this person and stuff like that. And, Mercury has to deal with communication. So Mercury in the 12th house is like communicating with the other side, communicating with the spirits. And I just got to be honest, y'all definitely prefer communicating with the spirits and the other side a lot more than regular people. Y'all are like, regular people, I don't like y'all. Y'all scare me. You know what I'm saying? I'm afraid. I'm intimidated. Your energy is just so, it's just so sensitive, and it's always sensitive to what people are saying, and this can also be very telepathic energy. Like you can almost kind of read people's minds and see what they're thinking and stuff, and people can see that, like switch up in you if you happen to, be really engaged at first, and then you get this sense, this energy, or spirit is just probably talking to you and let you know, nah, don't fuck with this person. This ain't it. This ain't it. And it's up to you to listen to that energy, because sometimes you could be like, oh no, like, but this person is so nice and they're so sweet, and we have a spiritual connection. And you always think you have a spiritual connection to people, like especially if you are able to kind of like read them and stuff like that and read their energy. But you have to know that when it's toxic energy and it's not good, to step away. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the type of people that can take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? And they can take advantage of kind of like your gift of being able to, receive these messages and stuff like that. So definitely be mindful of that. Of course, this creative energy is so great when it comes to writing, right? Writing songs, writing poetry, writing books, especially fiction, especially anything that's idealistic, anything that has to deal with like never lands and faraway lands and things of that nature. You're really good at taking a deep dive and storytelling and stuff like that. And you can really go down the rabbit hole once again, because this is the 12th house when it comes to like normal communication, like with actual people and things like that. There could be a lack of common sense. There can be, a lot of like aloofness and a lot of, just confusion and, being all over the place and stuff like that. And especially because Mercury is here, because Mercury has to deal with the mind. So it's like compounding that kind of mental like health thing. So definitely bipolar disorder is a possibility of like being diagnosed with. Personality disorder, especially you got Gemini on that 12th house cusp, that multiple personality shit. That's a big thing with Mercury in the 12th. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is just like working overtime in the 12th house, and you almost can't control which part is going to come out and which you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? You almost can't control that. It kind of reminds me of Y'all know I love my anecdotes. So it was a limited series on Netflix, and it was called Ratchet. It was like Nurse Ratchet, and it was set in the 40s or I think it was the 40s, in a mental health institution. This whole show is so 12th house. Okay, so you had people in mental institutions that this one woman, one of the only black characters on there, she had like these like multiple personalities, and she would literally like go into like her voice would change, and her mannerisms would change, and her whole like demeanor would just change into these like multiple personalities and things like that, and it was kind of like uncontrollable and things of that nature, and she needed treatment for that, and sometimes you need medication for those types of things, and you have to be able to control these personalities. This is the one place where it's very difficult to control those multiple personalities. So Mercury in the 12th house is very unpredictable energy, because you don't know which personality you're going to get. Like, the people around you don't know, and then you don't know which personality you're going to get. So most definitely recommend therapy, a psychiatrist most definitely as well. Probably you're probably going to need that too. And I also recommend, other outlets to, understanding your personality, and your soul, and your spirit. So definitely seek an astrologer, definitely seek a tarot reader. You have this gift too, and you can do, your own readings and stuff like that. But like I said before, even astrologers and, tarot readers and mediums, they also have people that they go to, because you kind of need that objective opinion. You know what I'm saying? You need that. Especially with Mercury in the 12th house, okay? Because you're getting all of these messages, you're getting all of this information, and it could be very, very overwhelming. You may even like suffer from headaches and stuff, especially if you got Mercury and Aries in the 12th house. It like migraines, so that could be like a really big thing as well. So this is definitely a placement that sometimes hypnosis, actually that's what they did in that limited series, Ratchet. They did hypnosis on that woman who had like the multiple kind of personality disorders and stuff like that. So that's a really good idea too for people with this placement, to kind of be able to, control that energy and stuff. Meditation is also great, and just sleep. Good old fashioned sleep. Okay. I know it's a lot of nervous energy built up because it's Mercury there, but you gotta get your rest. You gotta sleep. Okay. Like Moon in the 12th house, they don't got no problem with this. Okay. But Mercury in the 12th house, they may have a little bit of issues with trying to sleep and relax, because their mind is always wandering, and they're always getting all of these messages from spirit and from different entities, telling them things, giving them information, and things that they need to look out for, and things of that nature. So, get your sleep so you can be rejuvenated and refreshed and things like that. Kind of back on the artistic tip, like I mentioned before, this is great for writing. Pretty much anything, like your imagination like really like goes wild, with this particular placement. You're just great at telling these stories and taking a deep dive, and a lot of it, this is why you're great at writing fiction. Okay, because if you're actually talking about something that actually really happened, then you can really, really embellish and add things, and make it seem like so much more than what it is, and really like you was just walking down the street to go to the store, but you make that shit into a whole movie. Like, you're a whole movie. Okay. And speaking of which, like, the film industry and like editing and like writing scripts and screenplays is really like, that's a thing that you enjoy. That's something that you're very good at. You're very multifaceted. I mean, the 12th house is multifaceted anyway, but especially with Mercury there, because your different personalities have different talents. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to artistic expression. So this could also be really good, for drawing and, animation and video games and anything also that kind of has to deal with communicating on the other side. So you can get very creative with that. Like if you're a medium or something like that, or you do the runes and things of that nature, read palms and stuff like that. You're always getting this information. You know what I'm saying? So you could definitely use it to your benefit and use it to other people's benefits. But try not to be on a high vibrational spirit with this, because you could be a little, liar. You know what I'm saying? You can be, someone that can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like be careful of that energy if you actually like care about other people, which typically you do, but sometimes, you feel the need to get over on people, especially if you are kind of like destitute, or you're homeless, or you don't have anything or have any resources and stuff like that. So if your mind goes blank and you're not seeing anything, sometimes you prone to making shit up. Okay? Mercury in the 12th house is good for telling a story that is not true. Okay? And that includes readings for people. Now, you could be 100% accurate, but you could also be kind of manipulative in the sense that you could give people like, I'm not seeing anything, I don't know, but I'm going to make some shit up, and we're going to be like, okay, I'm looking at your palm and I see, okay, yes, you should go and date this guy. Yes, motherfucker turn out to be a serial killer or something like that, because it's not, a lot of times it's not even malicious. It's because at that moment you just may not be, seeing it or hearing it. You're not getting that information from spirit. And you may need to be careful. If you're not getting that information from spirit, there may be something wrong with the energy of the person that you're reading from. You know what I'm saying? They may actually be like a negative entity or a bad entity or something like that, because you're not getting anything from them. So I would take that into consideration if you're someone who does, like these divination practices and stuff like that, and you're not getting anything, and you usually do. I would be like, okay, there's something wrong here with this person, and I don't like this energy. Because sometimes that's what it means. It doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. It means that there's no soul. Like there might be no soul. There's nothing to grasp onto, to hear or to feel. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be cognizant of that as well. Like I said before, I mentioned the telepathy stuff. That's very big, especially if you're like a twin. You have Mercury in the 12th house. You could be a twin, or just be very telepathic with your siblings and things like that, because Mercury does represent siblings. So you can really like feel when they're hurt. You can hear their cries. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're on the other side of the country or the world or something like that, you're very in tune and very in sync with each other, especially if you're twins, but also even if you're just siblings and stuff, you could be very in tune with that. Also, I would say that like any type of like substances and things like that, they definitely make the spirits come out more. So you're going to hear more communication and more talking when you're under the influence. But you really have to be careful in those instances, because that's when you're getting a lot of that negative, low vibrational energy and stuff like that. So like I've said in all of these videos, you really need to protect your energy. So like doing drugs, it just opens you up so much. It just like opens up the portals. It just opens up all of the oceans and the waters and the different bodies of water and all of that type of stuff. And you're susceptible to these negative energies and these toxic energies, more so because you can't control yourself. Like you already have issues with being able to control your personalities and the information that you're getting, but especially when you're under the influence, if you happen to have an addiction or something like that, you really can't control yourself. So I would definitely advise this placement to not do any type of drugs or alcohol or anything that alters your state of mind, because that could be really detrimental to your being and to your spirit and things like that. So you have to be very cognizant of that type of energy. The imprisonment thing is also a thing that can happen. You can definitely like hear voices while you're in the cell, and things like that if you happen to get arrested or something like that. And that may have to do with your mouth because, you know, you're in your altered state, your your other personality comes out and all of a sudden it done got you in trouble and you don't know what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just be like, what happened? Why am I all of a sudden in a cop car? Or why am I all of a sudden in a hospital? Or why am I all of a sudden in an ambulance or something like that? Why am I all of a sudden knocked out on the floor, almost, you know, passed out drunk? Because you're like, your other personalities come out, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So definitely be mindful of that. Oh, this is like great energy for writing songs. I think I did mention that, but yeah, you're gonna get ideas while you're asleep, while you're dreaming, for writing songs. So definitely, like, this is the type of energy that if you get inspiration at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, you gotta wake up. You know, you get on that piano or that guitar because you know you can play all the instruments, right? You know what I'm saying? You get on that and you start writing. If you do, you know, the whole producing thing, you got your little, you know, your Pro Tools and everything. Like, you, when the inspiration hits you, sometimes you gotta jump on that right away. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that, you know, interrupts your sleep because you're so inspired by something that you have to write, that you have to create. You know what I'm saying? And it's that, like, you just gotta get that out energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm through with Mercury in the 12th house. Let me know if I forgot anything. And if you happen to have this placement, let me know your experiences with Mercury in the 12th house, or if you happen to know anybody with Mercury in the 12th house, let me know what your experiences are, if you happen to resonate with the information that I provided. Also, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be engaging in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.